Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, tickle, tickle. I think, Rick, if be concerned if he ever comes to you talking about tickle, tickle. Just, I mean,
hey,
I don't.
All right.
I'm not sure what's going on there.
At the hour and a half mark, I think we've gotten a little.
So, are we seeing a shift to all your heavyweight stuff on Raw and your high flying luchador stuff on SmackDown?
I can tell you that is charcuterie because Ricochet is on Raw. Okay.
It's not shark.
That is a bunch of charcuterie.
All right.
Well, yeah. With that, we're at
again, table. There will possibly be a table there that might or might not have something to do with the match. Come out and see us. I want to say thank you again to everybody in the chat. Thank you to the boys for being here tonight. I want to say thank you to Ross and the boys from Labor 12 for being here. With these guys every time.
We're there.
Okay.
And even beat him. Sorry to say, but he's a legend. But to be the best, you must beat the best, And I feel like I can beat him. So Chavo, I'm calling you out. I said, come on.
There it is. Chavo Guerrero. Right there. You heard it. Emilio Guzman calling you out, and I'm not gonna lie. Love Chavo to death, but Team Emilio right here, that's where I have to go.
Is going to be the year for West Texas Wrestling, especially at Squared Circle Pro. But July 19th, that is going to be an event that you will not want to miss under any circumstances, because I am dead set to make that night the biggest night in West Texas wrestling history.
And leading the way and
has to be this man chilling in the ring with two torn freaking quads and just still yelling at it, "You're fired," pretty much, like just getting there, like dogging on everybody, not even able to stand. Like that's right there.
Raw.
Well,
that was Royal Rumble. Still though, that moment when he slides in, goes to stand up and just sits down against the rope.
I mean, beat him down and did so ugly.
Yeah, it did him so bad that, he came home after one BCW outing and was like, Emilio Guzman, that's my man, till today wearing a War Chief shirt. So you saw how messed up.
Emilio, I got love for you, bro, but, it's a cool shirt.
You see how messed up that walloping was, but.
You're okay. I don't know if he's watching live, but I spoke with Scar a little earlier today, and I know he's going to be watching the podcast a little later on. He's doing a little training right now. But there you heard it, Scar. He said he's going to break out of it. Like live on the podcast. He said he can break out of your podcast, or break out of your bear hug. So when you see it.
Clip it.
When you see this, now you know what he looks like.
Stuff.
So you had a B+ on Raw, B- on SmackDown. Had a B+ and a B. You want to know what show got an absolute S+ in my opinion?
SCP, that's the one.
That's right. Squared Circle Pro's Tornado Slam. What a show. From start to finish. Damn.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We had Wheelhouse. So all I can say is Los Crudos better bring everything they've got, because this is going to be a fight.
I'll say I'm pretty sure I've only heard of one Texas death match, and didn't David Arquette almost die?
Did you just talk about David Arquette? Lord. Did you bring David Arquette into a wrestling podcast?
I said, didn't he almost die?
So before we get into it, there's been a little controversy, I'll come to find out, so I'm going to have to address it real quick. Apparently, last week I said some things about our new WWE, the United States champion Logan Paul, that upset some people. So I'm going to set the record straight. Logan Paul as a guy, not a fan. As a wrestler, I can honestly say, and I've said it before, he hasn't had a match yet that hasn't been just an absolute banger. So as a wrestler, I've got respect for the guy. I don't understand.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to this post WrestleMania 40 edition of the Not Your Average Mark Wrestling Podcast. I am your host and the tutorial boss, Guapo. With me is a man that needs no introduction, longtime friend of the show, the one, the only Rick Elzy. Rick, what's up, man?
How's everybody doing? I'm doing good.
What a weekend.
Oh, dude. Yeah. It was a big weekend.
It was, and we're going to talk all about it. Before we do, of course, want to welcome everybody to the show. Want to say a couple of thank yous. Thank you to Ross and the boys from Labor 12. Got, repping the Labor 12 today. They, of course, do our intro, outro music. Tracks called Head Rush, albums called Monsters, and you can find it on all your streaming platforms. And if you haven't yet, what the hell are you waiting for? Go check them out because they put absolute bangers, every one of their songs. So want to say a big thank you to them. Want to say a big thank you to American Legacy, helping us out with our merch. Of course, we've got our Not Your Average Mark Wrestling Podcast hats and a few new things. We've got our Not Your Average Mark skull caps. When the weather gets cold later on, you got your Not Your Average Mark beanies. We'll, of course, have those anywhere you find Not Your Average Mark. You want to get a hold of one of those, let us know. We'll get you taken care of. And I think that almost gets done with the thank yous. Of course, want to throw out a big thank you to the guy that makes all this happen, the one, the only, the guy. So, Patrick, appreciate you. So let's get into this weekend, man. We'll start out with SmackDown. Not a whole lot happened on SmackDown, which we knew it wasn't going to. It was mostly build. What we did get from SmackDown was seeing Big Bronson Reed winning the Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
Yes.
Which, I kind of felt like that was the way this was going to go, and I'm glad to see that it did. Him standing next to it and doing the pose, that was awesome. I think the thing that really set off Friday night, though, was, of course, the Hall of Fame induction.
Yes.
And we started out with the one that everybody was waiting for, the wise man himself, Mr. Paul Heyman.
Yes.
And
yeah, it was good.
It was Roman Reigns, in introducing him was awesome. But the high point for me in that, his from beginning to end, there was a joke made during his thing. My wife wanting to know how many people had to look up the word orator. Because Paul Heyman is just that. He is an orator and made mention of being such, but from start to finish, just absolute fire. But when he opened the box and he pulled out the jacket and he put on the headphones and he had the hat and he had the old phone from WCW, that was it for me. When he went straight ECW, that I loved every minute of it.
It was good. It was good. And, that's a Paul we haven't seen in a long time. He has done a masterful job of reinventing himself. And so it was kind of, for a minute, like he put all that stuff on and my brain was trying to process what I was seeing. Because I was like, it was a piece of me that just didn't register right. And I think it's a testament because I was a huge ECW fan and I've loved him as a manager for a long time. And as a promoter and a booker, he's an inspiration. But the way he's reinvented himself, it was interesting to see.
It really was. And I like the fact that, we had a whole stretch of time where it was, I'm a Paul Heyman guy and he's a Paul Heyman guy. And it was really cool to hear Paul say, I am now and will forever be a Paul Levesque guy.
Yes. I was telling the guy earlier that this past weekend, I have never seen one man be showered with accolades like Triple H was this past weekend. Like Heyman and then Stephanie and then the fans on Monday. It's just that dude is being celebrated right now.
And it's well deserved.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is.
We are in what I can only assume is going to be called, based on Cody's trademark file,
Yeah,
the Renaissance era, and it is just that. And he's
It's
at the
fair.
helm of it.
that's fair. It is. I think we are entering an era where we are going back to stories, and we're going back to emotion-driven wrestling. There was a period of time over this last probably 20 years, especially definitely the last 10, but I'd go so far as to say the last 20, where the focus was matches, lengthy matches. Attitude era, you were lucky to get a 3-4 minute match. The past 15, 20 years, you can get a 30-minute match that goes through 2 commercial breaks,
Yep.
but as we've said, I've said a lot, and I know you've heard it and other people have heard it. The matches are not what sells it. It's the storyline, it's the soap opera, it's the promos, it's the characters. That's what sells it. And you can look at the rating for Monday night and you can testify to that. That when you've got a 15-minute segment that is drawing a 3.1 for 15 minutes and there's no wrestling in it, don't tell me that it's based on matches.
Now, as a booker, as a promoter, for those that are watching, those that are listening, those that may not know, describe what a 3.1 rating means.
That roughly 3 million people, a little bit more than 3 million people, are watching that segment in that given moment.
Right.
And that's huge. That's a huge number for today's wrestling. That is a huge number. And to get them to stick around and watch that when there's no action, it's just talking, emotion. That means people are in it. They're in it and they want to see. So at Renaissance, as far as storytelling, that's exactly where we are.
And it's what we've needed in the pro wrestling world for a long time. Like you see it, like it's one of the things with Squared Circle Pro that I love is their storytelling. There's not just matches to have matches. There's a reason these matches are having. There's a story it follows. And I feel like WWE has been on the cusp of that for a little while, but every time they take a step forward, they get yanked back about 5. And they're finally breaking through that, making it into the, like you said, the emotional driven stories. I can't tell you the number of people I heard say that the Raw, not Monday night before Mania, but the one before that is the best Raw they've seen in a decade. The one with Roman, or the one with Rock and Cody out by the bus.
Oh yeah. That episode felt like the Attitude Era.
It did.
The good parts of the Attitude Era.
I think what Triple H is doing, or Paul Levesque, however we want to say it, is he's found that line to give an edgier, more emotionally driven product without making Attitude. We're doing the Attitude Era again.
Yeah.
Because the Attitude Era was for a time.
It was.
And that time is not now.
No, it's not. They're always going to refer to anytime you see something edgy, or you see cursing or you see blood, they're going to refer to it as Attitude Era. Because that was when we were getting it. But here's the other thing, and this is something I'm going to need people to get a grip on. The Attitude Era for WWE was kind of everybody else's era in the 80s and 90s, because Southern wrestling was built on blood and emotion and fighting out of control. And go back and watch World Class, Mid-South, Memphis, Mid-Atlantic, Championship Wrestling from Florida. Watch those promotions from 83 to 88. And all the stuff that was happening in the Attitude Era for WWF was happening for those promotions in that time period.
Mm-hmm.
It was different for Vince McMahon because the WWF was always such a clean, made for children product.
Good guys versus bad guys.
And it was an ECW being out there and doing that Southern wrestling, because even though Paul Heyman was a Northern guy, he was influenced by the Southern wrestling. And so, he sat underneath Dusty Rhodes' tree. So you had ECW put him on a bloody Southern product, and WWE was behind the times, and they needed to latch onto something, so they did.
No, I agree, and it was great, and we're getting back to that, and it makes me happy. And to kind of go with that point, let's talk a little bit about some of the things you saw at WWE World before WrestleMania.
Yeah,
you had, of course, you had meet and greet stuff like that, and everybody was cool with it, but you had AJ Styles and LA Knight get in just a fist fight. Like they grappled right there. AJ came up with a bloody nose. I mean, they had a fight.
Yeah, they did.
And if that doesn't ramp up the intensity for that match,
Yes.
you're like, they were actually fighting. There's something going on here.
Yeah.
So
that was good stuff. They really have started using the interviews, the podcasts, when they send people out, they've been using them more to further angles.
Yes.
And that's smart. That's very smart, because a lot of the people like Ariel Helwani, him having Becky and Rhea on there and them having a fight in his studio, there are people watching the MMA Hour who probably wouldn't normally watch wrestling. But if they see something like that hooks them, and then they go purchase the Peacock Network and they watch WrestleMania, then that fight did what it was supposed to do.
Exactly.
It drew people in.
And there was several moments before WrestleMania ever got started that we got to see that. But that does take us into night one of WrestleMania. Of course, our very first match, kick it off in true WrestleMania fashion with Becky versus Rhea. And it is kind of a continuation of what we saw in the studio and later on Raw, and trying to get everybody pushed back, save it for Mania.
And his name is John Cena.
Well, they saved it for Mania, and they did not disappoint. And I thought it was great.
Yes, they did. 17 minutes and 5 seconds they spent in that ring, and they did a great job. It was a wonderful opener, and the right person won. And Becky is at a place in her career now where she's done everything that you can do. She's a Grand Slam winner. She's won the Rumble. She's main evented Mania. She's a best-selling author. She's one of the highest paid women in the business. She really doesn't have much more to accomplish. So it's time for her to start putting people over. And Rhea Ripley is definitely the biggest rising star in the promotion.
Oh, absolutely.
Probably the last 2 years. The right person went over.
No, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. Before we get any deeper in this, I do want to say what's up to Daddy Boss 74. What's up to Mikey? Mikey, thank you for the subscription. Appreciate that. 9 months, man. Appreciate you being with us for it. We're, of course, getting it. If you just tuned in, just getting in here, we're talking about the first match of WrestleMania Night 1, Becky versus Rhea. It was a banger of a match. And, they made mention of the fact that the day previous, Becky was sick, which honestly, I don't feel like they even really needed to put out there, because
No. She had strep throat. She was wrestled the match with strep throat.
Oof.
And Rhea Ripley had a panic attack backstage before the match. So neither one of them were technically 100%. And they still went out there and kicked off the weekend in a miraculous way.
They did better than a lot of people I could think of could do at 200%. So, I mean, they really, really did that. We got J Reb in. Cameron, what's up, brother? First WrestleMania in years that I watched start to finish. And he attributes that to us. Hey, man, I'm glad we could help. Welcome back to the dark side, my friend. Glad you got a chance to watch it. Of course, want to hear from you guys in the chat what you think about what's going on. I got to go with you in the Becky Rhea match. Rhea needed to go over, and Becky did a good job of doing that while still being strong in the ring. After that, we got a match that I wasn't quite sure what to think about, how crazy it was going to be. That, of course, being the ladder match, six-pack challenge for the tag team titles. I knew they were going to split the titles.
Yeah.
And I was happy to hear it because it's been coming for a while.
Well, you don't make comments like the match only ends when both sets of belts get pulled down if you're not planning on, splitting the titles. That was pretty on the nose.
It was. And there were a lot of good spots in this. Of course, you know me, I'm an R-Truth guy. Him trying to tag in, I thought that was great. Him going for the pin, that was even better.
Well, I mean, you had Judgment Day defending, and then you had A-Town Down Under, you had Awesome Truth, DIY, New Day, and the New Catch Republic. All in there, 17 minutes, 25 seconds. And the A-Town Down Under pulls down the SmackDown titles, and Awesome Truth pulls down the Raw titles.
Let's talk for just a second about DIY's entrance.
Oh, yeah.
I loved the DX feel from it. It was so good. It wasn't the Regeneration X moment that I was hoping for, but it was good enough. And then during the match, we get R-Truth directing traffic, and we get a Sweet Chin music from Shawn Michaels, and we get the pedigree from Triple Ciampa. I mean, it was good. It was I loved it.
Yeah, that's good. That's good
And
stuff.
I thought for a second that that's what it was going to be, was because he's like, you guys go up this ladder, I'm going to go up this ladder. And I thought for just a moment we were going to get Regeneration X as both sets of tag team champions.
Well, I mean, it was good. I enjoyed it. Matches like that always tend to hang out in the realm of being a real cluster. But I thought they did a good job. I think the real MVP of this match was Jessica Carr, the referee on the outside of the ring, because she was trying to save Damian Priest's life.
Yeah.
Because that ladder was buckling on the other side and he didn't notice.
Yeah, for those of you that didn't get a chance to watch WrestleMania, shame on you, talking to Patrick. So Damian's getting ready to climb the ladder. He's already climbing, and Miz comes over and jumps on the ladder. Well, one of the legs just twists out, and Damian hasn't realized this yet. And he knocks Miz off the ladder, and he's getting ready to do his thing, and the ref's like, different ladder. Get
another ladder. Yeah. Because that could have been awful. He could have been up there at the top, and it could have buckled, and you're done.
That's it. Your career is over.
And he's a big dude. Mm-hmm. And as we would find out, he would be very important the next night.
He would. Seraph in the chat saying that was rude.
I don't want none, don't ask for none.
There you go.
Start watch the product, dude.
Well, of course, we got what I think was the ending we needed. I'm not sure what they're going to do with A-Town Down Under as tag champs, because they've already kind of planted the seeds of their dissension.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm interested to see who they put in that circle with them to get those titles. You've got Pretty Deadly. You've got New Catch.
I think I have the answer.
Well, do tell.
Because I saw an article earlier today from a very trusted source that I normally read and I don't think is ridiculous or a shill. They said that the prevailing talk right now backstage is that Baron's coming up to SmackDown with Braun, and they're going to bring the Wolf Dogs to SmackDown.
Wolf Dogs.
And I think if the Wolf Dogs come to SmackDown, they're going to be huge baby faces, and I could see them taking those belts off A-Town Down Under.
But they have to keep the same like their promo stuff. They got to bring that to SmackDown.
I mean, it's one of those things that they put two guys together, probably didn't have a long-term plan. People got behind it. They realized they had chemistry, and now it's working. And so why split them up?
Well, it's like the Sammy Uso thing. That was supposed to be a 2-week bit.
Yeah.
And how long did we have Sammy in the bloodline,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I think that this has that same energy.
When something catches fire, it's ridiculous to just throw water on it. See what you can get out of it.
Looking over at the chat, we got Camino. What's up, Camino? Glad to see you in here, brother. He says WrestleMania XL 5 stars both nights. Amen. I agree.
Very much so.
So we got the ending we needed with that. We've got A-Town Down Under. They are the SmackDown champs. You've got Awesome Truth, which it couldn't have been anybody else. I mean, come on. You have to give, with everything that's gone on, you have to give R-Truth his WrestleMania gold. And I was very happy to see it. I ain't gonna lie. I can't wait to see how that one turns out.
It was good. And I think the right teams won. And I was happy with it.
I agree with you. Just like Camino said, 5 stars. 5-star match with that. Which takes us into Rey and Andrade versus Dom and Santos Escobar. I don't think Andrade gets nearly the love that he should get. What a talent.
He is very, very talented, but he's also he's been pretty low key. He left WWE before he really got going.
True.
And he did great in NXT, but not everybody watched NXT at that time. And then he didn't do anything in AEW of real substance. And so now he's back. They did an angle with Dragon Lee to insert Andrade into this spot, which tells me they have something for him. And so they wanted to get eyes on him. And yeah. I thought that, I was really expecting the bad guys to win here. I really thought Carlito was going to turn, but obviously they're going to slow burn that.
As they should.
And that's fine. We just talked about them being in the era of storytelling. So yes, please. You've got Rey, you've got Andrade, you've got Carlito, you've got the LWO, you've got Santos, you've got his guys, you've got Dominic Mysterio. You have plenty of stuff here to tell a year's worth of story. So tell a story. We're here for it.
So as this match goes on, it's a whole lot of back and forth and just enjoyable to watch. And then all of a sudden, who were those masked men? We get a couple of luchadors. And I use that term loosely because they were very large luchadors. Come out of the crowd in masks and everything, and they make their presence felt. And because of that, you get Rey and Andrade with the win. And when they unmask, lo and behold, it's Jason Kelsey and I can't remember his name, but it's his teammate from the Philadelphia Eagles.
I was very confused because when I saw them get involved, I thought, who did they call it from NXT? Who is this?
Mm-hmm.
And then I noticed that the masks were the color of the Eagles football uniforms.
Yep, they had the green.
At that moment, I turned to TJ and I said, "Are these football players?" And he was like, "Probably." And so then, of course, they were. And so, hey, use the celebrities that you've got.
In the words of Pat McAfee, hey, look, it's Taylor Swift's boyfriend's brother.
That was awesome. Can we just say, just real quick, what a treasure Pat McAfee is?
I love Pat McAfee, man.
He's so good. He's so good. He's so funny. He's great.
His addition to the commentary is second to none. I enjoy, because even when he doesn't know what he's talking about, he knows what he's talking about. So.
And I love that when he doesn't know what he's talking about, he has no problem telling you he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Exactly.
So, he is the realest commentator I think they've ever had. He's
And
just
I'm
there
here
to have
for
a
it.
good, he just wants to have a good time, and I love it. I'm here for it.
It's great. I love having him there. Pat McAfee, if you're watching the show, we love having there. If you're not watching the show, what the hell, man? But all in all, great match between Rey and Andrade, Dom and Santos. That takes us to brother versus brother, Oos versus Oos, Jimmy versus Jay.
Yes.
This match was not what I thought it would be. It's not saying it was a bad match.
It's the match that's probably getting the most non-favorable discourse, I'll say. There's a lot of people talking about how it didn't live up to expectations. And I was telling you earlier, I think the reason it didn't live up to expectations is because I think this was the first match between these two. I think there's a lot more story to tell. And I think they didn't want to go balls to the wall on match one.
No, and I get that. And there's two different ways to look at this match. And if you look at this match where we've been, in the matches, the whole match aspect of it, this match did not live up to a WrestleMania match. It was a bunch of super kicks and a couple of splashes.
Yeah.
But if you turn around and you look at that through the storytelling lens, this was brother versus brother. And it wasn't, we're going to put on a great match. It's, I'm so freaking mad at you. We're going to fight.
Yeah.
And it was one up in each other and, kick me again. I dare you. It was the brother versus brother side of it that,
yeah,
in the storytelling aspect, that it was exactly what it needed to be.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. And I think that, and there's a lot more to come. But they went out there 11 minutes, 5 seconds. The match before that, the Ray match, was also 11 minutes, 5 seconds. Okay. So, at this point right now, we're 4 matches into the show and, we're almost an hour's worth of time gone by.
And we're already wore out.
So it's they're moving at a good pace at this point. And, I think that, Jimmy and Jay, it could have been more, but I was satisfied with what I got.
Well, like I said, I had problems with it. I didn't like the fact that, like I said, it's a bunch of super kicks and a couple of splashes. But stepping back from it and looking at the Renaissance era and looking at the storytelling aspect, and in that lens, it was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with you in the fact that it's going to be the first of what's probably going to be many.
Yeah.
And I'm looking over at the chat. Camino saying, I miss when he used to get up on the table and dance during Shinsuke's entrances. I dug that. I dug the way he got so into Shinsuke's entrances. And now he's doing it for Jay. He's up on the table talking about all the time.
He always says, I'm yeeting all over the place.
I'm yeeting all over the place, Cole. I love it. That man is a national treasure. That takes us into our 3-on-3 tag match. You have Bianca, Naomi, and Jade Cargill. Debuting Jade Cargill versus Damage Control. And I'm not going to lie, going into this, I kind of had it figured who was going to win this one, but.
Yeah, this was kind of on the nose. The good guys needed to go over. Jade needed to get the pin. They did everything they needed to do. This was the shortest match of the show so far, 8 minutes, 5 seconds. But it didn't need to be any longer. It did everything it needed to be. They hit every story beat they needed to hit. This was a home run match all the way from a story and a talent development standpoint.
No, absolutely it was. And the story that you can tell on Bianca, Naomi, and Jade's side of it. Jade Cargill's first ever match is a pin in WrestleMania. Naomi, first time since 18 or 22? I don't remember which.
I want to say 22.
So her first match since 22. And then, of course, 4-0 for Bianca Belair. She's 4-0 at WrestleMania. So there's so much of a story to tell there.
Yeah.
And yes, absolutely, Camino, Black Girl Magic. That's what that was. But it was a great match. I mean, it was what I love about the women's division in WWE is it doesn't matter what the match is. It's almost like they're trying to one up each other on how much they can put the other person over.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it. I'm here for it. And that's exactly what happened in this match.
There's a level of real competition in WWE's women's division. Everybody wants to outshine the other girl. And that's important. It's important. You need to have the mindset of I'm going to go out here and I'm going to make everybody have to follow this.
Well, they started out something, and I keep waiting to hear something about it because I'm not sure what it's all about. But the three of them at the end of the match, standing tall, and they're doing like a 3B thing, and I'm interested to see where that goes.
They may do something. I mean, they may do something. They may be connected in the stories for a little bit until somebody, gets high behind with the other one. I mean, I feel like not to short Naomi at all, but Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, that's a Mania main event.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
no question.
We could slow build that into something really, really big.
If that match were to happen today, if WrestleMania was tomorrow, we were going to have that match. Don't know that Bianca makes it 5-0.
Well, and that's for the people with the pencils.
True,
but I tell you, I'd be here for it. I'd be here for it.
Oh, it'd be a great match. Camino in the chat saying, "Hard to shine bright when you're standing next to Jade Cargill." That ain't no kidding, man. What a talent! Like she came out shining.
And anybody who saw her debut in AEW, the fact that she debuted against Cody Rhodes teaming with Shaquille O'Neal, she has been pegged for stardom from day one.
Absolutely.
And she has taken the right path, and she cut her teeth. She made her money, and she took her time to get to where she wanted to be. And she's taken her time while she's been there. And because here's the thing, she's almost been in the company now for closing on a year.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen
her debut match
twice, Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. She's had exactly one TV match that lasted less than a minute.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that shortly. But as we get into this, we'll go ahead and get through night one. That match, absolute banger. The next match of the night for me.
Yes.
Just absolutely great. Of course, I'm talking about Sami Zayn versus Gunther for the IC title.
Yes, 15 minutes, 30 seconds. Sami Zayn ends Gunther's reign at 666 days.
And of course, to start the match, we get the obligatory "Screw you, Kevin Dunn" one shot, one camera shot all the way out to the out to the ramp, which I dug. I like it. I mean, I've always been a fan, but Chad Gable says he's not going out there with him because you know what, you can do this. You always could.
Yeah. So
that was cool to hear. And then he gets out there, and who's he run into? Kevin Owens, who gives him a hug, slaps him around a little bit, says, "Go do this."
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happens. They get out there, they have a banger of a match, and in the end of it, Sammy raises his hand with the Intercontinental title in it.
Yeah.
And how long did this one go?
It was 15 minutes, 30 seconds.
15 minutes, 30 seconds. Okay. And it was every time Sammy was down, he was right back up and fighting back up and fighting back up and starting to take over, and then chop, 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 slam, and then work his way up. I love it. It was great. Yes. I enjoyed it. And of course, we get the haluva kick, and then we get another haluva kick, and we got the brain buster. Holy hell, we got the brain buster.
I couldn't believe they threw out the brain buster, the El Generico brain buster, when they were up there, and then they did it. Like, I
popped,
nearly
didn't you?
choked. I nearly choked because I was stunned, because that is something that I for sure know, that when Sami Zayn came over, that was something he was told. We
No,
don't do that
sir.
here. We're not doing that.
None of that.
And I would almost bet that they decided, let's just ask for forgiveness instead of permission,
Oh,
because
absolutely.
I think that Gunther probably was like, "Hey, can you hit that brainbuster thing on me?" You know, so I bet you that was a Sammy Gunther thing.
I'm just picturing Sammy at that point too. Hey, man, I know we haven't talked to Paul about it, but could you hit that brain buster on me? And just drool starts running down Sammy's mouth.
Yeah. The only thing that was missing was the extended scream of an announcer with the whole brain buster. You know, that's what we needed.
Yep.
But that guy works for the other company, so we
don't talk about him. No, we may talk about him a little bit after we get through this, but for me, absolutely match of the night, Sammy versus Gunther. I enjoyed that one thoroughly.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really good.
Of course, that brings us to our main event, which, all right, I'm going to be real about something. I'm not proud of it, but I'm going to be real about it. I had Chunk with me. He was my WrestleMania watching buddy. We were checking it out. We were laying on the couch. He was on my chest. We're watching, and Cody's intro hits. And about halfway through Cody's intro, I'm saying, because we went through like 25 and a half minutes of entrances.
Yeah.
Because you had Cody's entrance, then you had Seth's entrance, then you had Rock. Then you had the Rock's entrance.
Yeah.
Then you had Roman's entrance.
Yeah.
And it took forever.
Yeah. It was 15 minutes worth of entrances, because the match itself was 44 minutes and 35 seconds.
15 minutes of entrance. That is 17 and a half minutes too many.
Yeah.
Good Lord, it was a lot.
It's WrestleMania.
True.
The entrance is half of it. And you have to remember too, the ramp is half of a football field. I mean,
fair.
You can't just get down there.
Every time I see a ramp like that, I picture a little blonde referee. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go YouTube it. It's funny. He ran what had to be almost a mile trying to get to the ring.
Yeah, he did.
But the match was good. I mean, we got what I expected we were going to get. We got a lot of fight. We got a few things I wasn't expecting. Like, I dug the fact that Seth saved Cody and Roman ended up spearing The Rock.
Yeah.
Thought that was great.
I think everybody was watching the match with the expectation that Seth was going to do something to cost Cody the match, that Rock was going to do something to cost Roman something. Everybody was waiting for one of the partners to do something against the other one. And yet we ended up getting Seth and Cody completely working together with no hint of dissension at all. And we had Roman spear The Rock and, tease that they were going to lose the match. I mean,
we had Cody rock bottom The Rock through the announce table. When's the last time that happened?
It was good. It really was. And I think, once they announced the Bloodline Rules thing, I feel like they gave away that the bad guys were going to win, because why would you even bring that up if you weren't going to do it?
Exactly.
So I feel like everyone knew the outcome. They were just waiting to see how we got there.
No, I agree with you.
I really enjoyed it, because there was a couple of moments where near that end, as we were wrapping up, where I thought to myself, are they going to have a fair one-on-one match tomorrow? Or like, is that where are they just swerving us? But no, they did exactly what we said they'd do.
No, and I was wondering, and of course, The Rock he's the new Vince McMahon. And I said the redacted name.
Redacted.
He's the new beep. But he's the angry seat on the board of directors. And so he tells the ref, if you count, you're fired. And if you do this, you're fired. And the ref's like, I don't know what to do anymore.
I love that at one point the ref walked over to Cody and apologized
like,
that he couldn't do anything about it. That was a nice little touch there. That was nice.
It was, and it added to that. Come on, man, what are you doing?
I know, it was great.
In the end, of course, Rock and Roman get the win, and picture of the night is Cody Rhodes sitting in the middle of the ring with the Rock and Roman at the top of the ramp off his shoulder in the same spot with the same expression that he had 1 year before at WrestleMania.
Dude, this whole weekend, the callbacks have been amazing.
Oh, yeah.
There's the attention to detail has been off the charts cool. And, it would just ramp up the next night. But that ending shot was amazing.
And you want to talk about amped up and awesome? We started night 2 with Stephanie McMahon.
Yes.
Like, I didn't expect to see anybody who had the last name McMahon and on a WWE camera ever.
No. And I'm not going to lie. Her music hit. She came out, she started talking, and I got a little emotional.
A little bit, yeah.
It was emotional to see because her and Triple H collectively over a period of time turned a fan base's opinion of them from, they're going to be awful for the business to, man, these two are really saving the business.
Oh, absolutely.
And the women, the women received a renewed focus at the helm of Stephanie McMahon saying, you've got to do something with the women. And she pushed for that, and so I feel like she left the company amidst all of her father's craziness. And, so she kind of, in a way, she volunteered to leave, but then she was kind of pushed out too. And so I feel like this was her opportunity to come back and put over her husband. And just seeing the reaction that she got, I mean, this is her birthright.
Absolutely.
And I hope that it's not the last we see of Stephanie.
Well, she made it very clear in her speech that at the very first WrestleMania, she was sitting at gorilla position.
Yep.
And she has been at or a part of every WrestleMania since. 40 years worth of WrestleMania she has been a part of. Yeah. And I couldn't be happier to have seen her there. I even got a message from Little Guapo, who's not here tonight because he's a bit under the weather. But I got a message from him saying, okay, that's it. Stephanie needs to do all the Are You Readys moving forward. Looking over at the chat, Camino saying Linda McMahon was backstage with Charlotte Flair. I had just read about that. Of course, Vince and Linda have been leading separate lives for better than a decade now. So I don't really think you can associate Linda with Vince, although lawyers and trials and stuff are going to try to do so. But they've been leading separate lives for years.
Well, the cameras caught her at the Hall of Fame. She was a row behind, off to the side of Rock's mother. But she was in the crowd at the Hall of Fame. She definitely had an opportunity to come back to the show and see people and take some pictures with people. I think it was really important because, again, in the heyday of Vince McMahon and in the heyday of the McMahon family drama on TV, Linda always played the good guy. She was always the voice of reason. She was the one who stood up to Vince. She had the love of the crowd. They always enjoyed her. She was always given fun things to do. And she's another person that I think has been sorely missed.
No, I agree. She has. And it's almost like, okay, we've got him out of the way, so come show the people you're still here.
Yeah,
And I'm glad that they did.
it was nice. It was
And
nice.
that, of course, takes us into our opening match: Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I was ready for the match. I'm excited. Went into the kitchen to grab a soda. The bell rang while I was standing in front of the refrigerator. I closed the refrigerator, walked back in, and the ref's counting. And I'm going, what the hell just happened? I thought we were done right then.
They hit that opening Claymore, and it felt like Sheamus, Daniel Bryan, like that's where they were going.
I was thinking, no.
No, and they tore it down, man. They tore it down. 10 minutes and 30 seconds that match took. I have to say that, and this is just for me. I've been a fan of Seth Rollins ever since he started the wearing crazy outfits.
Ever since he found Becky's closet.
I love the fact that he tributed the Mummers Day Parade.
Yes.
I loved that. I loved that he had a caravan with him. And man,
I was looking for Adam Rose. I really was.
He was decked to the nines, man. That was the best outfit Seth Rollins has ever worn.
I got a message asking me, what the hell did I just watch?
I have been shocked at some of the response online and the number of people who had no idea what the Mummers Parade was.
No, absolutely.
Like as soon as I saw them on the stage playing the instruments and knew where we were, I was like, okay, that's the Mummers Day Parade. That's what's happening.
Like I said, I was, as they were panning the camera across everybody, I was like, all right, where the hell is Adam Rose? I know he's in here somewhere.
Someday they'll do another gimmick battle royal. Someday they'll do another gimmick battle royal, and we'll get an Adam Rose return.
I'll be here for it. This match was intense from start to finish, and I enjoyed every minute of it. Of course, in the end, Drew McIntyre gets the win. A very emotional Drew McIntyre while he was in the ring. And after you have your emotional moment and you look at your belt and you realize that you've won the title in front of a crowd that you've been trying to get, you have two choices. You can get up, show the belt to the crowd and walk up the ramp and be proud, or you can do what he did and go talk trash to CM Punk.
Yeah, that was awesome. I love that he got on the desk right in front of him. And
okay, his little catwalk over, that was awkward.
I loved hearing him tell Punk, everything I've said, I mean. I don't like you. Like I just loved him being in Punk's face. And what I really loved was Punk saying, I can't hear a word you're saying.
I got cans on. I can't hear anything you're saying. It was great.
I mean, the two of them and their antagonistic relationship has been some of the most fun stuff they've had on TV. And I am not a Punk fan by any means, but him and Drew, I'm really enjoying.
We're just getting started with that.
Oh, I know we are. And I'm loving every second of it. He ran his mouth and he pissed Punk off, and Punk tripped him on the table, knocked him onto the floor, took off his
F8 and then he FO'd.
And then hit him with the brace and turned around to blow a kiss to Drew's girl. And then the judgment turns again. Everything goes purple.
Everything turns purple, and here comes Damian Priest. And he runs in, he says, I'm cashing in right now, hits the south of heaven. 1, 2, 3, your new world champion, Damian Priest. But we need to talk for just a minute about Drew McIntyre's title run. Because it was the perfect title run. I told you this earlier. It was the perfect title run. No bad matches. No bad promos. It ended before it got stale, and he put over new talent. I mean, you can't ask for more than that out of a champion. No. Good on you, Drew McIntyre.
He got everything that he wanted, and he got it immediately taken away from him.
5 minutes. He was champion for 5 minutes and 12 seconds.
dude, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. And here's the thing. He's probably going to end up getting it back,
Oh yeah.
and he'll have it by the time he and Punk do something big. You know, I mean, I don't think Priest is the champion for the long haul. But
No, he's here for a good time, not for a long time.
I did enjoy it, but I think what I enjoyed the most of all was watching Drew, completely unbelievable as to what had just happened to him. And then in the background, the camera refocuses and we see CM Punk clapping and laughing at Drew while he claps.
Oh yeah.
And that was amazing.
If that is not the definition, like I said earlier, if that is not the definition of FAFO,
Yeah.
all you had to do was walk up the ramp and you'd
Yeah.
still be champion right now.
But that's been the entire story of Drew as a heel, is that Drew cannot acknowledge the fact that he continually gets in his own way.
Uh-huh. And Punk told him that.
Yeah. Yeah.
More than once.
That's
Punk
another-
had told him, you're not
That's
champion
another
because
thing. That's another thing I'm loving about the Triple H era of booking. The talents are being truthful. They're telling the truth.
Yes.
And they're either choosing to hear it or not hear it. But they're not having to make things up. Everything is happening organically, and that's how it's supposed to happen.
Absolutely. So, needless to say, I was all about that match. That is how you kick off night 2 right there. I
Yes.
loved it.
Yes.
That took us into our Philadelphia street fight. Of course, we've got the Final Testament going against the Pride, and
This
our
was for
special-
this was for the ECW crowd.
oh
This
yeah,
was all for
absolutely.
the ECW crowd.
Our special guest referee in Philadelphia, home of ECW, is none other than Bubba Ray Dudley, Bully Ray. For those who
It was
Had-
nice
didn't
to
watch
see
Attitude Era.
Bubba. I think that Bubba was a little out of place not having a camo themed ref outfit.
he did look a little off, didn't he?
He just looked like a ref. And it was weird. It was like he kind honestly in that ref outfit, I didn't realize until I saw it how much he looks like Alex Jones. So like I was shocked. I was like,
Oh,
I
I
was
can't
like-
unsee it.
you know, you can't. You really can't. Like
Why'd you do that?
I noticed it first, so I'm sharing. I'm
Yeah, I
sharing.
can't unsee it. He does look like Alex Jones.
He really does. He really did in that outfit.
Well, we got. I mean, it was a good match. Of the matches of night 2, this is the one that I was the least invested in. That's not saying that it wasn't a good match. They did have a great match. It's just I was the least invested in this match.
I think that this was the last thing that was put together for the show. I think it was thrown on here to get the Pride a win, and it was also to appease the Philadelphia crowd.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they disappointed anybody. There was a lot of plunder. There was a lot of plunder, and the girls got involved. I mean, it was a spectacle, and we got to see Bubba Ray pull the glasses out.
That was
put the
great.
glasses on. He helped facilitate a "What's up."
Yeah, I mean, he didn't get involved.
I mean, it was good. This was good for exactly what it was.
It was. And I enjoyed it. I especially enjoyed, okay, you grab that leg, you grab that leg, you go up there and
He was teaching everybody how to do their shtick.
it was great. I enjoyed it. Of course, the Pride coming up with the win in the end, Bobby Lashley and Street Profits. Not what I expected. I'm not going to lie. I kind of expected the Final Testament to come out on top in that one.
I was thinking that they probably would, but conventional wisdom to me was like, man, the Pride's taken a lot of beating on TV.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I feel like in front of the Mania crowd, but then once we got the babyface ECW referee, then I was like, oh, okay, Pride's going over.
Yeah. But great match. I enjoyed it. Love seeing Bubba Ray out there. that takes us into the probably the most almost seems personal match.
Very much
Well,
so.
second most. I mean, Roman and Cody, but
Hey,
AJ Styles versus LA Knight.
They did a lot of building of AJ and LA Knight. They did a lot of building. They home invasions, back jumping in disguise, beating up people at the WWE World. I mean, they really built a blood feud in a short amount of time.
And I don't think it's over.
Yeah, I mean it. You had we didn't do the times. I left the times out. We had LA Knight and AJ Styles was 12 minutes and 25 seconds. And at that point, it was the longest thing on the show.
Mm-hmm. And it wasn't like we have all this animosity in the buildup and then we have this cool wrestling match. No, it was a fight.
Yeah.
They kept the fight feel through the whole match.
Yeah.
And I was all about it. And of course, did you ever have any doubt who the winner is with everybody saying LA Knight? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that anybody thought that Styles was going to win that one.
I do hope though that this is the first match.
I think we're going to get more. I think we're going to get more.
I feel like post WrestleMania, like day one, Raw on Monday was day one. Like this is, if you equate it to a show, this is the first episode of the next season.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this is the season of LA Knight. I feel like he's finally going to get the chance to be the megastar that he organically built himself to be.
Yeah. I think they're going to probably have a segment tomorrow night on SmackDown. I feel like they're going to do some more. This one really, again, very much like the Usos match. I feel like this was just the beginning.
I think so. And I'm about it. Bring it on.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. It's good stuff.
Then we had our triple threat for the USA title. We have Randy Orton versus Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens first out. Or no. Logan Paul was first out.
Yeah, Logan.
And he came out with the Prime cannon and the whole. That was goofy. And then of course he's got his walking bottle of Prime with him. That's goofy. And then out comes Kevin Owens, and he
knows how to get heat, man.
Kevin Owens comes out, and he's on the golf cart, and I dig it. Like he came out, and then he went and got the golf cart, and here we go. And he goes down. Randy Orton's music hits, and everybody's cheering. Everybody's like, "Oh, Randy Orton!" And I'm watching Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens is like, puts in reverse, backs up the ramp,
all the way up the ramp.
Yeah, and he's like, "Come on, get in, let's go." So Randy jumps up on the back and he takes off at like 30 miles an hour, and Randy's like, "Oh crap!" I mean, if you're gonna be in a triple threat, if you get into a vehicle accident with one of your opponents, hey, you've fixed your chances.
Yeah, it was good
But
stuff.
It was funny. Camino in the chat saying that the mat had Prime all over it, which it did, and the top turnbuckle. Top turnbuckle had Prime, the Prime logo on it, which.
That's because we are no longer in the Vince McMahon era, and we can now sell ads all over the ring.
That's true. And I mean, I'm mad at it.
That's an Endeavor thing.
I'm not mad at it. I mean, if it gets crazy, I'm not going to be a big fan, but it was done well.
If all of the advertising ends up turning into additional LEDs, then I'll get upset.
All right. So, Trips, if you're watching, which of course you're watching, it's the Not Your Average Mark Wrestling Podcast. Email me, let me know, how do I get we need this on a turnbuckle. I'm just putting it out there into the world. Okay. just saying. But this match, it was a lot of fun to watch. Of course, Logan Paul just getting, what was Bruss's word? Wally mopped. Just getting absolutely beat down by Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. And they're having fun with it. They're, back and forth punches and just back and forth moves. And, oh, you did that? Well, here, I'm going to slam him on the table. Well, hold on. Look, I'm going to slam him on the table. Well, no, you got to get higher and I'm taller. So, they're just having a day of it. And then Randy goes for the pin, and Kevin's like, wait a minute. Are you trying to win this thing? Because I thought we were going to do a thing here. And then Randy goes for the RKO, which Kevin pushes out of. And Randy does as only Randy can do. And he's sitting here like this. Oops. It turned into a fight, man. And it was a lot of fun to watch. In the end, I don't even remember the guy's name because I don't watch Logan Paul's streams. I don't know one of his little lackeys that was in the Prime get up.
I believe that he is referred to as ISB.
ISB. Okay. Well, poor guy. He decided to get over in Randy's face and push him a few times. And then, of all things you can do to Randy Orton, he started barking at him. He barked at him. It didn't even sound like a big dog. It sounded like a little dog. And he started barking at him. And Randy got a bit on the angry side about that and might have RKO'd him on the announce table after barking it back at him.
Dude.
Randy does sound like a big dog, by the way.
When Randy kicked that dude in the gut, that was 100% a real. He kicked that dude so hard.
Well, I was shown a video. I got shown a video of that guy laying on a bed. And he's got a neck brace on, and he's like, I wanted to come on here for a minute and tell y'all wrestling's real. It's all real. Like, my head hurts a lot right now. My neck and my shoulders, I can't hardly move. It's real, y'all.
Yeah. Randy Orton messed that dude up.
Daddy Boss 74 in the chat saying, what's next on the wrestling tights? Think for half a minute I won't put this on a set of wrestling tights. Absolutely.
When Brock Lesnar a couple years ago, Brock was wearing sponsor logos and stuff on his tights.
He was, and I mean, and that's a UFC thing, and of course you get with Endeavor, now you have that opportunity, and I do think they take advantage of it for some people.
We'll start seeing it. It's just a matter of time.
Seraph says we're going to put NY on one cheek and AM on the other cheek. Why did Billy Gunn come to mind? I don't
know. But Logan Paul, man, I love that he retained because he is a heat machine, and he has all the followers, and he's a ratings getter, and having him with that U.S. title through the summer is the right call. And at SummerSlam, he can drop it to LA Knight.
He needs to drop it to LA Knight.
But I'm here for the Kevin Owens Randy Orton feud.
Yes, because that's coming.
Oh, it's definitely coming. 17 minutes and 40 seconds that match was. It was the longest match of the night up to that point.
I will say this. I don't like Logan Paul as a person. I never have and never will. But as a wrestler, as a performer, the guy is a spot machine, and he does it well. So flowers to Logan Paul on that.
Yeah.
As a person, you're a douchebag and I don't like you. You can quote me on that.
Hey, I've never been a huge fan of him as a social media influencer person, but I'll tell you, I have never seen a celebrity, come into this business and look like they've been here for years as quickly as he did.
No, and like I said, all the flowers to him for that, because as a performer, he does what he does well.
He is a prodigy.
He is indeed. But he's also an asshole. So, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
That takes us into Bayley versus Io Sky for the women's champion. And Bayley's entrance, while there was no Bayley buddies, and kind of sad about that. I'm going to have to write Bayley a strongly worded email.
Yeah, I was sad too.
The entrance was cool. I dug it.
Had a very Egyptian Anubis feel to it. It
did.
Good.
And I watched a video right before the podcast. They were showing what they did with her hair and everything. Like, she had all the sparkles and lines and stuff on the side of her head, but she had XL in the back of her head.
In the back, yeah.
It was really cool. But this match, I didn't expect a whole lot out of this match because EO has not done just a whole lot with that women's title. So I wasn't expecting a whole lot, and I was pleasantly surprised. This was a great match.
I thought it was. I thought it was one of the better matches of the weekend. 14 minutes, 20 seconds. Definitely the right call. Bailey got a moment, and that to me, the story they're doing with Drew, the stuff they've done with Bailey, those two were absolutely the MVPs of the pandemic era.
Oh,
They
yes.
were the MVPs of the Thunderdome era. And to see them now getting what they're getting, like, it does my heart good because it's a reward for a job well done.
It is, in fact. And of course, Bailey coming out in the end with the belt, which I was ecstatic about. I was so happy to see Bailey win that. But here was my thing. We get past the celebration, and okay, it's time for the main event. There's an hour and 15 minutes worth of show left.
I know.
Like I'm looking at my watch and I'm going, hold on. Are they ending early tonight or what are we doing here?
Well, they did end early. But
Not by much, though.
Not by much, because there was a lot of post-match stuff.
True.
And the entrances, again, were long.
Yeah.
But, Mania, you can do this. And now that it's 2 nights, the period of 17 matches and 6 hours on one night, we're past that. And Triple H likes for things to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm fine with it.
Well, surprisingly to me, we got, this of course is for the belt. It's finish the story, but it's bloodline rules. So I'm expecting all sorts of shenanigans and skullduggery, but for a good, I'd say 15 minutes of this match, we got a Roman versus Cody match.
Yeah.
And I was not expecting that. And it was a pleasant surprise to me to see that because, it was good.
It was.
And then the chicanery ensued. Of course, we get Jimmy comes in and he super kicks Cody and he tells Roman, get him, man, get him. Jay's music hits. Roman tells Jimmy, go get him. And he runs up the ramp and gets beat down by Jay, and Jay spears him off the ramp through some tables.
Yep.
Ouch.
Yep.
So we're sitting there watching. We're back to Cody. To begin with, Cody had Roman. He did the Crossroads. He's getting up to do the second one, and that's when Jimmy showed up. So they fight some more, and he gets him in the Crossroads again, and he hits one, and he moves up, and he hits the second one. He's getting ready for the third one. Here comes Solo.
Yeah.
Solo hits him with the spike, puts him down, drags Roman over. Roman over and puts him on top. Says, count it. Starts to walk off, and Cody kicks out, and he just stops. Like, what? So they fight Cody some more, and they end up with a spear spike combo.
Yep.
And Cody kicks out.
Exciting.
And then the moment a whole lot of people were waiting for, the music hits, outruns John Cena.
Yep.
And I was thinking about who are they going to have? Like, it doesn't make any sense for them to bring Seth out for Solo. Who are they going to have? And then as soon as Solo's standing in the ring, I was like, oh yeah, John Cena's got a problem with Solo.
So John Cena out.
John Cena comes running out, puts Solo through the Spanish announce table, which we're back to destroying the Spanish announce table. Yes. That used to be in every pay-per-view thing.
It was. What are you talking about? It was every Raw thing.
Yeah, fair. It wasn't every Raw thing.
In the Attitude Era, the Spanish announce table was destroyed every show.
Yes, it was.
Every show. It was that was people were like, if that was happening today, if the Spanish announce table got killed every time out, social media people would start being like, why are we so racist that we're having to just destroy the Spanish announce table?
You're right. So we get that happening, and then of course it hits. If you smell, here comes the final bones.
Yeah.
The Rock comes out, and so I'm waiting for it. They have their moment. Him and Cena have their moment in the ring, and then The Rock puts him down, and I'm waiting for it. Break the glass, break the glass, break the glass, and then it hits the Shield music. What?
Yep.
And anybody that watched it, you cannot tell me that for at least 2 seconds you weren't going, Moxley? Did they bring John Moxley? Is Dean Ambrose back?
I will tell you, he crossed my mind only because I thought to myself, there's no way John Moxley is coming out with Seth.
Right.
And naturally he didn't.
No, we get Seth in the complete Shield getup. The same getup, I might add, that, what was it, 10 years ago?
10 years.
10 years ago, he took a chair and stabbed Roman Reigns in the back with it. Same outfit, same hair.
Yep.
And he walks in and gets laid out immediately, but he came in with a chair and gets laid out immediately.
Yep.
So I'm thinking, well, now what do we do? Because we didn't get Stone Cold, we got the Shield. The gong hits and the lights go out, and I'm like, what did they get? What?
Yeah.
And I just,
I think that one got everybody. That got everybody.
The gong hits, the lights go out, the gong hits again, and Taker is standing behind The Rock. And The Rock's got his back to him, John, blah, 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 blah. The Rock says whatever, turns around and has the biggest oh crap moment on his face right before The Undertaker chokeslams him. And then the lights go out again, and then they're gone.
Yep.
Then it's just Cody and Roman in the ring. And
Seth.
And so Roman picks up the chair, and this is some of the best parts of the storytelling to me.
Yeah.
Like I said, 10 years ago, you had Seth stab Roman in the back by hitting him in the chair, which ultimately dissolved the Shield.
Yep.
You don't have the tribal chief without that happening. You don't have prove your loyalty to me, acknowledge me. You don't have any of that if Seth Rollins doesn't hit him in the back with a chair and break it down. So he's got a chair in his hand, and you've got Cody over here reeling, trying to get his wits about him. You've got Seth Rollins pulling himself up on the ropes, and you've got Roman Reigns with a choice. Do you hit Cody with the chair, pin him, win the match, keep the record? Or do you hit Seth Rollins, who turned his back on you, stabbed you in the back? He chose Seth Rollins. And after doing so, Cody was able to get the crossroads on him 3 times. 1, 2, 3, Cody has finished the story. But the story that I don't think enough people are talking about there is, what was it, 4 or 5 weeks ago, Seth told Cody, I can be your Shield.
Yep.
And he was.
Because Seth knew. Seth knew that if Roman had the opportunity, he couldn't resist.
And that's exactly what we got. He was
absolutely perfect.
He was Cody's Shield. It's a callback 10 years in the making. And it was great. And Cody wins the belt. Cody finishes the story. Before I go any further with that, Camino saying he's going to get out of here. Camino, thanks for being here tonight, brother. We will see you next week when we do this again. Appreciate you being here tonight. But yeah, Seth stood in to get into Roman's head because he's the only one that can do that. And it cost Roman the record. It cost him the belt and allowed Cody to finish the story. And what a moment it was.
It was 33 minutes, 25 seconds. And it was one of the better matches that I've seen to end a Mania. Lots of surprises, lots of fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the most telling moments of how well they did this was how completely destroyed emotionally Samantha Irving was.
We got to talk about Samantha Irving for a second.
You
want to talk about star of the show.
Fighting through tears to announce him as the champion. And I mean, just that's, that is a testament to that's somebody inside the business.
Oh yeah.
That's somebody who, she's with a wrestler. She's on the inside of the business, and
For
she
those
was
that don't know,
moved.
she's married to Ricochet.
Yeah, she was moved to the point of she had to compose herself, and her voice was breaking so badly. I mean, that is a testament to how well this was done.
Oh yes, and I told you this earlier today. And for those of you that may not know, a little tidbit I found out about Samantha Irvin. She has all the information for who's in the match, but she refuses to go to production meetings and she refuses to find out who's going to win. And her reasoning for that is very simply, I was a fan before I was a ring announcer, and I want to see the match play out. I don't want to know who's going to win.
Yep, she wants to have an organic experience.
And she did. Absolutely, she did. And she is
got
my
props
favorite.
from Michael Buffer.
She got props from
Michael Buffer.
She got props from Enzo Amore, who can't stand the WWE, but took the time to say she is a star. So
I think Michael Buffer is a bigger deal than Enzo, but I get it.
Well, to me, the Enzo thing is because Michael Buffer is like, I got no problem with the WWF. They paid me how much to say, let's get ready to rumble. So I got no problems with the WWE. But Enzo Amore can't stand the WWE and the things that happened with him, but still took the time to say, I don't like the WWE, and this is the first thing I've watched since they got rid of me, but she is a star. So
She is. It was great. And I loved the ending. I loved everybody being in the ring. I loved that all the baby faces came down. It felt very much like WrestleMania 10 when they put Brett on their shoulders. It was nice to do that for Cody. I loved that he was able to get on his knee and hand his mother the championship. That was awesome. It was just perfect. He called down Bruce Pritchard and Triple H. They had a very nice moment with him and Triple H. To me, the only thing that I felt like was missing out of that moment in the ring, I really wish that Dustin could have been there for that. I know that he was there. I know that he was in the skybox. He was in there with Starks and QT Marshall and Aaron Solo and all their crew, but I would have loved to have seen Dustin in the ring.
And I'm not 100% that we don't at some point. Like, we may see it tomorrow. I don't know. I'd like to see it. I don't know that we will, but
I think that when his deal's up, I think he comes back.
I was just glad that he could be there to see it happen.
Oh yeah.
Now the thing that pisses me off about it is I see a video not long after Mania is over of Dustin saying, for 36 years I've been chasing gold. It's been my dream to win gold. So Samoa Joe, I'm challenging you Wednesday for a match. And I'm thinking to myself, a Rhodes trying to finish the story, get some gold against a Samoan named Joe. How original. I mean, seriously, it pissed me off.
I get it. I get it. Yeah, that was one of those where you see it and you're just like, are you kidding?
The only reason TK could even think about doing this would be to change the ending of the story. That's it. That's it. That's all he could do.
Yeah.
And we're getting down to the last little bit of time. We're going to do a lightning round for Raw, because Raw did have some good things. We had several "You Deserve It" chants. Triple H comes out, gets a thank you chant, and he's like, crazy thing, I was coming out here to say thank you to you guys.
It was awesome. That was awesome.
I dug it. Cody comes out, has Samantha announce him again just because she does it so well, gets the "You Deserve It" chants. The Rock comes out and says, I'm leaving for a little while, but when I come back, I'm coming back for you. Puts something in his hand, says, you don't even have to look. You know what it is. Don't you ever break my heart again. And I've been trying to figure that out since Monday. it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. Our first match of the night was Ilya Dragunov versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Great match, and a great way to bring Ilya Dragunov to the big stage.
Nice introduction of Ilya. Yeah.
And they're going to he's going to be in the draft.
Oh, yeah. That's one thing they did on Raw was they announced that the draft is taking place at the end of April.
26th on SmackDown and then the 29th on Raw.
Yep, they're gonna do it at the end of April, and all three brands are a full part of it. And I think that it's going to be very interesting to see who goes where, because this is the Triple H time now. And I think that you're going to see NXT get some names that you're not expecting.
No, I think so too. I 100% think so. And so you get the Judgment Day come out, and of course celebrating the fact that Rhea's still the champ, and now Damien's the champ. I believe they called themselves the Twins of Terror. That's not going to stick. But the fun thing is,
they called themselves the Terror Twins. Yeah,
they say all rise for the Judgment Day, and they all hold their belts up, and then behind them, here comes R-Truth with the tag belt and holds it up, and Damian Priest looks at the belt, turns around and looks, says, "Oh hell no, we're not doing this again."
That was nice.
So R-Truth says, "I brought the tag team title back to the Judgment Day. It's full circle." It was great. I love R-Truth. But this turns into a match, a six-man tag match. So you had Damian Priest, Finn Balor, and JD McDonough versus The Miz, R-Truth, and the one you can't see. So everybody's thinking it's little Jimmy until Cena's music hits, and then Cena comes out, helps him get the win. It was awesome.
Yeah,
I don't think we see Cena again for a while, but it was good to see him for that.
No, he did say that he's got some movie projects this year that he wants to wrap up, and when he wraps them up, he's ready to do one more run.
Which I'm looking forward to.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Everybody should.
Cena's one thing about it, when Priest came out there's a lot of "you deserve it" chants for Priest, too.
Oh, yeah.
We got to see Liv attack Rhea, which there's still a whole lot of animosity there. The Liv Revenge Tour is still a big thing. You had Roxanne Perez and Indy Hartwell. That was a good match. It kept the Indy Candice heat going, and it did good. It was good to show off Roxanne Perez as well. She's just not a heel, and we discussed that before the show. You had Sammy come out to celebrate, and then Imperium came out and stopped the celebration. Chad Gable comes out. Tag team match. Here we go. Great match. Good teamwork with Zayn and Gable. Obviously, it's going to lead up to a heel turn for Gable. I mean, I think we all see that coming.
I think at some point, yeah. I'd really like to see them slow burn that.
Yes.
I'd like to see at least 2 matches between Gable and Sammy, and then maybe on the third one we pull the trigger and do the heel turn.
I think that's the way it's probably going to go. However, at the end of it, Sami Zayn does say, I let you get in and do the thing, so we're even, right? Because you said you needed a favor. And Chad Gable starts to give out. He's like, "I'm joking. I know what you want. Me and you next week for the IC title."
Yeah.
And Chad Gable's like, "I can't wait."
Yeah.
I don't know what that was all about, but Chelsea Green shows up. They're talking about, you have Adam Pearce, Nick Aldis, and Ava Raine talking about the draft coming up. Chelsea Green walks in immediately. Adam Pearce goes, "Anybody want to trade?"
Yeah.
I laughed so hard at that.
I love it. I absolutely love it. You know what? Here's the fun thing for me. The stuff that they do with Chelsea and Adam Pearce, I know that there's a lot of people out there who know that Chelsea and Matt Cardona are together, and that's fine. But we also know that Rhea and Buddy are together, and yet we still do the Rhea Dominic stuff. Mm-hmm. I would love to see Chelsea and Adam get like some kind of storyline where through all this bullshit, they end up really liking each other.
Oh, Lord.
I think that could be really funny. That could be really funny. I love Chelsea Green so much.
Well, she comes in and she's like, "I didn't get my WrestleMania moment. You had WrestleMania without me. I'm going to talk to your manager." Yeah. So she wants her moment, and boy, does she get it. She gets sent out to
yeah.
the ring, and out comes Jade Cargill. And it took Jade Cargill longer to get to the ring than it did to beat Chelsea Green, but
Be
it did
careful
what it was
what you
supposed
wish
to
for.
do.
Be careful what you wish for.
It did exactly what it was supposed to do. It helps build for the draft, and it helps build Jade Cargill, and gives everybody a laugh at Chelsea Green's expense.
If I'm in control, Chelsea Green wins Money in the Bank.
You know, I'm not against that.
Because her cash-ins attempts could be hilarious.
Comedy gold. We then have the fatal four-way for number one contendership. You got Jey Uso, Bronson Reed, Ricochet, and a very angry Scotsman who cut a good promo. And the fact that he called Damian Priest Bondage Undertaker, like, that was great. I dug it. That's the hashtag for tonight. Hashtag Bondage Undertaker.
It was awesome. Awesome.
Of course, his promo gets cut by Jay coming in, which is already going to piss him off because him and Jay have issues. It was a great match, and we got to see a lot of good stuff from each of the guys.
Yeah.
In the end, Drew's getting ready to do the Claymore kick. He does the count, and out from underneath the ring pops up CM Punk, grabs him by the leg, and grins at him real big. And Jey Uso hits him with the spear. Comes off the top rope. 1, 2, 3. Jey Uso's going against Damian Priest for the world title, and Drew McIntyre is pissed.
I know. I'm so excited. As soon as CM Punk popped up from out from underneath the ring, I was like, oh no, this is something. Drew is going to do something really terrible to CM Punk.
Yes. And it was funny because at the end of the match, CM Punk is over there with Pat McAfee, and both of them are up there just doing the dance.
Dude, here's what I hope. I hope that one of these nights when Punk's at the show, and we know he's at the show, I hope that Drew is not at the show. And I want to see Drew show up at Punk's house and do something to AJ Lee.
Easy killer.
Because that could be amazing. And maybe Drew does something to AJ and he's already done it. And we know that it's already happened. We don't know what happened, but we know something terrible has happened. And he's standing there with Larry talking to CM Punk.
Whoa. You don't bring the dogs into this.
How
you don't
cool.
bring the dogs into this.
Yeah.
Triple H, if you're listening, I didn't say that. Rick did.
Hey.
I didn't bring the dogs in.
Boss Man and Al Snow did pepper steak. I'm just saying.
Man.
Come on.
Well, that we're about 3 minutes over what we usually do, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. I do want to say, Tony Khan, you're an idiot. I don't know why you showed that footage. That did nothing for you. It blew up right in your face, and you're an idiot. Quote me on that. Dave Meltzer, you go with him. That being said, I'm going to let you get your final thoughts in.
Hey, I thought it was an amazing weekend. SmackDown, Hall of Fame, Stand and Deliver, 2 nights of Mania, Awesome Raw. WWE right now is on a massive roll. They 17 consecutive sellouts at this point. The company is just clicking on all cylinders. It's mostly due to Triple H and his leadership and his booking. And man, if you're somebody who has slept on WWE, and I would understand because they had a few really bad years, but if you're somebody who has slept on WWE, man, give them another shot because they are knocking it out of the park.
Absolutely. As far as final thoughts from me, it was a great weekend. I enjoyed every bit of it. Chunk got an education in what wrestling should be, so I dug that. I'm excited for what this has to bring. Of course, I want to remind you that Saturday night, if you happen to find yourself in the Guthrie, Oklahoma area, your boy, the guy, we're going to be there doing a little commentary for BCW, Guthrie, Oklahoma. If you're there, come say hi to us. Come pick up some merch. We'll be there. Come see us. Reminder coming up soon. May the 4th, we've got Tornado Slam for Squared Circle Pro. May the 11th, we've got Head Games for BCW Texas. It's all picking up, and it's all going to be good.
And a week from this coming Saturday in Lubbock, South Plains Championship Wrestling has their
right.
first event inside the Lubbock city limits.
That's right. South Plains Championship Wrestling giving their first inside Lubbock City Limits show, and I can't wait to see it. What can I tell you? It is a great day to be a wrestling fan.
Yes.
So make sure you're watching the shows. Make sure you're going out and watching independent wrestling. And we are going to do this again next week. I hope to see everybody there. Until then, I am Guapo. That's Rick Elzy. We're not your average marks. Yeah.